Good morning, everyone. We are Go DC Go, and I, Rebecca Johnson, and my colleague Alex DiPompolo are going to be presenting to you today on transportation strategies for inclement weather and how to navigate urgent weather situations. And during the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in your questions or chat box, and we'll answer them at the end. Welcome to today's webinar. We will cover some items of how to prepare for inclement weather, discuss how to coordinate efforts, and how GoDCGo can support you in implementing best practices for these weather emergencies, and also provide some strategies on how to navigate those urgent weather situations for your workplace. For anyone who is joining one of our webinars for the first time, I'll explain a bit about GoDCGo and how we can help employers. GoDCGo is an initiative of the District Department of Transportation that encourages the use of sustainable and alternative transportation. As the leading resource for transportation information and options, our goal is to help commuters, residents, and visitors make getting around the district quick and efficient. We aim to decrease traffic congestion, improve air quality, and create a better quality of life in the DC area and throughout the region. And all of our assistance is free to employers in the district. So our employer services are complimentary, and we provide support to help you implement a commuter benefits program or enhance your existing program. For example, listening to unique transportation challenges you face on your work site and providing a one-on-one consultation, helping you better understand how your employees get to work and where some pain points are or opportunities lie. And we can help support your staff with brochures, custom materials, on-site discounted cabby memberships, and some other resources. We also have our GoDCGo Employer Ambassador Program. We encourage all of the employers who work with GoDCGo to become an employer ambassador. This not only gives your organization recognition for your efforts, but also comes with additional perks. We also recognize our employers at our annual award ceremony for their commitment to implementing commuter benefits and sustainable transportation programs for their employees. You can receive a designation of bronze, silver, gold, or platinum, and also receive a digital badge that you can share on your recruitment materials or as well as your company website. The perks vary based on your level that your organization is designated at. To find out some more information, you can go to godcgo.com/employer, and you can submit an interest form or also become an ambassador there. All right, so now we're going to get started with employer preparedness. In this section, we will discuss some transportation strategies that can help you prepare for inclement weather situations at your workplace. I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Alex.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. So before an inclement weather event occurs, we recommend developing an emergency transportation plan ahead of time and communicating this with your staff. A few considerations for this include making sure that your overall emergency management plan includes a transportation section that outlines everything very clearly. You can also assign a dedicated point of contact who staff can reach out to with any questions in a weather emergency. We call this person an employee transportation coordinator. And you may need to designate or think about designating alternate meeting points for carpools and dam pools. When you assess how snow piles are left over from plows, those may impact your current meeting locations. We also recommend that you establish a primary communication method in the event of an emergency so your employees know where to look to find key company notices. This could be social media, like a company Twitter account, text alerts, or a dedicated section on your company's website. You can also help your staff plan an alternate commute so that in the event of service delays or disruptions that affect their commute, they have a backup plan in place. One way to do this is to help them facilitate ride matching or carpooling in advance. Your employees can register on Commuter Connections to help find a carpool partner, and they also can easily do this by using the mobile app They could also look at wave carpool or casual carpool options like plug lines that are available to them. And we encourage you to allow your employees to try out and test their alternate commute options ahead of time. So this could mean trying out a carpool when there isn't inclement weather, just trying it out in advance, or for existing carpools, having them kind of go out and see where the alternate meeting location is, so everybody kind of knows if they need to meet at the west exit on inclement weather days, where that actually means. Beyond carpooling, you can also help your staff consider a variety of modes that are near your work site. To help your employees explore these alternate transit options, GoDCGo can help you by creating a custom get-around guide for your office. The get-around guide shows your employees all their options for getting to work, including a map of where employees can access these services. So please reach out to us if this is something you're interested in and let us know. We can help you after the webinar. You can also establish new alternative work schedule policies, enhance the ones that you have, or remind employees of the existing policies you have in place. Alternative work schedule policies include telework, compressed work week, and flexible schedules. And for those of you that have existing policies, it's helpful to remind your staff of the guidelines and protocols around the policy. For example, how your employees should respond when there is a network connection failure while working remotely. And for those of you who are interested in setting up or enhancing your policies, GoDCGo has a free telework guide with templates that you can use, including policy language. So from what we've discussed so far, we've got a quick poll question here for you. And as we go to launch this live, you can reply with your feedback. And we'd just like to know what assistance from what we've talked about so far are you interested in and how we can help you. We'll leave this up for a minute to give you a chance to respond. Great, so thanks everybody for replying. It looks like most of you are interested in information about alternative work schedules and telework policies. So that's really good for us to know. And in our follow-up to this email, to this webinar, we can send an email with the link to our telework guide. A few of you are also interested in the Get Around Guide and information about the ride sharing program. We can try to reach out to you after this webinar as well. So staying informed of weather conditions and potential disruptions is obviously clearly key. The WMATAs of your weather page is a great resource to stay up to date on travel delays, and for general weather conditions, the NOAA Weather Radio can help you stay informed. You can also, well, we've included the link here, and you can, for the WMATAs of your weather page, and can share this with you in follow-up email as well. But you can also sign up for GoDCGo's employer newsletter. We send a monthly email and any necessary updates in between those monthly emails as needed. You can also sign up for DC government alerts and follow GoDCGo and d.dc on Twitter to stay up to date on any changes. In addition to monitoring weather reports online to see what areas are potentially going to be hit, it's important to communicate with your staff. Establishing clear communication channels is key, both for weather disruptions and for reminding your staff of company policies in advance. Your staff communication could be a blast email, a post on your intranet site, and an employee newsletter, or even inserting a flyer into their paychecks to let them know changes in your policies. We at GoDCGo can share template language with you so you have some draft communications ready to go in the event of a weather emergency. And the screenshots here on this page just show how you can subscribe to the Metro news releases for service disruption information. We have a second follow-up question, a little poll question for you here that will get launched. Just with these other options that we've talked about, to know how we can best help you stay informed. Wow, so it looks like most of you are interested in all of the above. So that's great, and we'll be happy to follow up with you with this information after the webinar. Now we're going to talk about some best practices and tips and tricks for implementing all of the things that we've talked about at your work site, and I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Rebecca to talk to you more about that.
All right, so we encourage you to think a step ahead. So here are some things you can think about ahead of time. Evacuation sites, making sure to distribute paper copies of how to access work-related functions from home so employees have access to their work site when they're unable to be in the office due to weather. Re-emphasize the telework policy and have employees reference their agreement for telework. For example, will employees need to use PTO if they need time to manage weather or damage to a home? Also, for employees who are traveling for business or out with clients, make sure you have an emergency protocol for immediate approvals while they are away. Next, we highly recommend conducting a commuter survey. We always encourage employers to conduct a survey regardless of weather to ensure that you know how your employees get to work and how you can provide the most beneficial benefits for them. In addition to custom materials for your worksite, GoDCGo has some free resources. Our telework guide, which is shown up at the top on the left, and some success stories, which are examples from peers in the district that have implemented a telework policy, as you can see on your screen to the right. GoDCGo is a resource to connect you with other employers to do a peer exchange on any challenges you may face and looking for solutions. We also encourage you to host commuter events. The most important piece of this is employee awareness. GoDCGo can help you do this with transportation fairs, lunch and learns, helping with company competitions, a zip code party to help employees find carpool partners, and roundtable discussions on winter commuting safety tips. And now we have our final poll question. So how can GoDCGo best help you increase employee awareness? We'll give you a minute or so to respond here. All right, so it looks like most of you, well, there's an even split between lunch and learns and then all of the above. So that's great. We are very excited that you're interested in our services. So awesome. And now, last but not least, we have questions. So I just want to go ahead and say that following this webinar, we will send out a follow-up email with the presentation, a link to the recording of today's webinar, a follow-up survey to provide feedback on the webinar, and also the things that you requested on our poll questions. We will do our best in a timely manner to get those items back to you. But if you have any questions right now, feel free to ask them in the questions or the chat box, and we'd be happy to answer. All right, so it looks like we don't have many questions, so we must have done a really thorough job of informing you today. Thank you again for attending, and on our next slide we have our contact information if you want to give us a call or email us directly. Other than that, look forward to our follow-up email, and we thank you again for attending today.